My landlord increased my rent by $400 and said I could just get a better job, so I sent him the building code violations I'd been documenting for 8 months. The notice was taped to my door when I got home from my shift. Rent increase effective November 1st. New monthly rate, $1,850. I'd been paying $1,014.50 for 2 years. A studio apartment in a building that should have been condemned in the 90s, but it was walking distance to the hospital where I worked as an orderly, and the rent was manageable on $19 an hour. $400 more wasn't manageable. That was groceries, gas, insurance. I called Martin, my landlord, the next morning. Yeah, I sent out notices yesterday, he said. Market rate adjustment, nothing personal. $400 isn't an adjustment, it's 30%. Rent's going up everywhere. You've had a good deal for 2 years. Time to pay fair value. Martin, I can't afford $1,850. Then get a better job. He said it like he was giving advice. You're young, you're capable. Hospital pays decent if you're not entry level. I work full time. I'm going to community college at night. I don't have, not my problem, Derek. Business is business. You've got 60 days to decide. He hung up. I sat in my apartment, looked around. The place was falling apart. The bathroom sink had been dripping for 6 months. The heat barely worked. There was black mold in the corner of the ceiling that Martin said was just discoloration. The electrical outlet in the kitchen sparked when I used the microwave. I'd reported everything, multiple times. Martin's response was always the same. I'll send someone when I can. Nobody ever came. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about get a better job. Like I hadn't been working 60-hour weeks while taking classes. Like I was just lazy. Then I remembered something. A conversation with my buddy Chris, who worked in property management. Landlords always think they're untouchable, he'd said once, until you show them building codes exist for a reason. I opened my laptop, searched for my city's housing authority website, found the tenant rights section, then the building code violations list. I started going through my apartment with my phone camera. The mold, photographed with a timestamp, the electrical outlet, took a video of the sparking, the windows that didn't lock properly, documented all 3, the fire escape rusted through in 2 places, photos from multiple angles, the missing carbon monoxide detector. Martin had removed it 8 months ago and never replaced it. The water heater in the shared basement, installed in 1987 according to the label leaking at the base. I went through every email I'd ever sent Martin, compiled them into a single document, 23 maintenance requests over 2 years, 17 ignored completely, 6 with responses like noted or we'll look into it. Then I filed a formal complaint with the housing authority, attached every photo, every email, every timestamp. I also sent copies to the fire marshal and the health department. I didn't tell Martin. 3 weeks later I heard a knock. 2 inspectors from the city. They had clipboards, cameras, official badges. We're here for a code compliance inspection, one said. I let them in, showed them everything. They were there for 90 minutes. I watched them photograph the mold, test the electrical outlets, examine the fire escape, check the water heater. This is pretty extensive, one inspector said. Your landlord's going to get a full report. How long does he have to fix it? Depends on severity. Some of this stuff, immediate, like the electrical and the carbon monoxide detector. He's got 48 hours for life safety issues. Everything else, 30 days. Martin called me that night. His voice was different, tight. You called the city on me? I filed a complaint about housing code violations. Same violations I've been reporting to you for 2 years. Do you know how much this is going to cost me? About as much as you were going to charge me in rent increases. You're trying to screw me over because you're mad about market rates. I'm trying to live somewhere that's legally habitable. You said business is business. This is business. Silence. Then you're going to regret this. Maybe. But at least I'll regret it somewhere with working heat and no electrical fire hazard. I hung up. The city sent Martin a violation notice. $18,000 in mandatory repairs, plus fines for the life safety issues he'd been ignoring. He had to install new smoke detectors, replace the electrical panel, remediate all mold, fix the fire escape, replace the water heater. He tried to evict me, filed papers claiming I was disruptive. I showed up to housing court with my documentation. Every ignored maintenance request, the rent increase notice, the recording of him telling me to get a better job. The judge dismissed his eviction, then ordered Martin to keep my rent at $1,450 until all repairs were completed and inspected. Maybe you should get a better landlord license, the judge said. Martin finished the repairs in 43 days. The apartment was actually livable. Heat worked, outlets were safe, no mold. He sold the building 6 months later. New owner kept my rent the same. I saw Martin once after that, at a coffee shop. He saw me and turned around, walked out without ordering. I finished my coffee, went to class, took notes on contract law. Turns out the best response to get a better job is showing someone they should have done theirs in the first place.